throughout my pregnancy journey, it came to me as an intuition to say, you're going to get a boy and you're going to be blessed abundantly through both your kids. Hi everyone. It is with great pleasure, humility, and a lot of grace that I sit here before all of you. I would like to introduce myself as Cassandra, mother to two beautiful toddlers, Kelsey and Caleb. I'm here to talk about my life's journey. When I say life's journey, it transformed from a not so spiritual life to a life filled with utmost grace and abundance of blessed fruits. And as I move on to narrating my life's journey, you will know why I said what I said. This takes me back to the time where I was a teenager, not a regular churchgoer, so to say, would attend Mass occasionally on Sundays, was not very regular with saying the family rosary, and for the many times I said it, it would just be a normal rant, or it would be something that I would just say it out of my hats without even meaning a single word. Just obligatory. As I moved on, my life's journey from being a teenager to going to college to started my professional career, things changed drastically, both spiritually, personally, as well as mentally. I started, after pursuing my degree in Bachelor's of Mass Media, I did a couple of jobs. I worked for a media company, and then I moved on to working with a law firm. And this is where I began my journey. As young as I could have been back then, spent a good 4.5 years, very high aspirations of moving into marketing, communications, branding, and would go that extra mile to achieve it, so to say. Even started pursuing my MBA degree, a part-time MBA degree, while I was working there, because I was told and I was promised promotion within the company. And I have always been an academic buff. I did that, but I had to quit because of a lot of grievances that I faced within the organization, within the firm. And for me, my self-respect and dignity was prime rather than waiting there or hanging on to a promotion that was just in hindsight. I moved on from the law firm after 4.5 years of sheer hard work. I did so with a very heavy heart. But my journey began not when I was in the law firm. My journey began after I left the law firm. Stuck into a litigation, found it very, very hard to fathom the same news. And then it was time for me to get married that very same year, the end of 2014. And I so very clearly remember telling my now husband to say, look, this is what has happened. Should we just postpone our wedding date maybe to a later date? And he said, why? Because of this? I said, yes. He said, no, you don't have to. I mean, I'm with you in this journey. And we fought this battle for 8 long years. It was on November 7th that I got the good news to say this litigation was completely in my favor. Praise the Lord. Because what He can do for you in times that you will never expect, the way He can turn your life from being an almost dead leaf to a leaf that looks so bright and green, you will not even know. He did the same with me. This is just a part of my journey that I'm telling you about. And as we go deeper, you'll know why I said what I said. Then began my marital bliss in 2014 December. I cleared my MBA exams in May of 2015. But I was without a job for 3 long years. While I was married, it was after almost 2.5 to 3 years is when we had immediate family, we had extended family, we had friends ask us, so now what about kids? I think we've all faced that question, right? First it's, what about your marriage? Then it's, what about a child? And then when you get your first child, it's, are you planning for the second one? Don't we all face it? We do. I faced the same. And I was no exception. When I got questions coming to me, we as a couple ignored it for quite some time, because we had our own battles to fight, we had our own journey to move on to. We also had dreams of, holidaying, exploring, and just taking time out as a couple to kind of take things in our stride first. But as it continued, 2 years became 4 years, became 5 years, and it was only getting more and more worrisome, it was getting more and more tiresome, it was getting humiliating, because in the beginning of 3.5, 4 years, we as a couple decided we want to start our journey of conceiving. And when we went on with the entire process of wanting to start a journey of being parents, we discovered along the way that this is not going to be easy. Almost an impossible case. In my view, hopeless case. When I say hopeless case, I'm saying so because I was made to feel like one. Scientific reports, medical reports, science. According to science and medical reports, for me to become a mother was just impossible, because my fallopian tubes were blocked. Not one, but both. I had a cyst in my right ovary, which was partially detected cancerous. I was put on medication. I was told that there was no way I could have conceived. And that was the day where reality hit me so hard that when I began my journey of praising and worshipping the Lord to my fullest capacity, and in every strife and struggle, I just gave up on Him to say that I worshipped, I was somebody who would go to church on occasional Sundays, but I used to come to you, God, every day. Why did you do this to me? And the doctor had almost fixed a date for me to go in for an IVF, which is when, as a couple, we decided no IVF, we will probably adopt. We went to an adoption home, gathered our minds, prepared ourselves, going to church almost every day, with the sadness in our hearts that we had, with the impossible case that we were stuck in, saying the family rosary daily. Today I've come to a point in my life where I say my personal rosary and the family rosary because I know the importance it has had in my life. The remedy for your problem is perseverance and constant prayer. Most importantly, faith. This is what as a couple we clung on to at every step of our marriage. To continue to where I left off, it was only in 2019 of May. I remember the date so very clearly because I was in the divine and it was my dates of menstruating and hopes were lost again. I got my menses for that month and again sad as ever. I cried out loud in the prayer hall to say, God, why are you doing this to me? I feel like walking away from here right now. But when I went back the next month, I skipped my menses 1 week, 2 weeks, complete disbelief. I said, how can this happen to me? Although I knew I wanted it to happen to me. And when I went and tested, it was positive. Our hearts jumped with so much joy that we couldn't fathom the joy that it brought to our lives. And today I can proudly say that an impossible case like me is not only a mother to one child, but we are parents to two beautiful kids, one girl and one boy. As soon as we got the girl, we always knew we wanted two kids. That's what we always planned as a couple. But I knew the impossible case I was. And as a couple, we already made up our minds to adopt. And while we again started looking up adoption centers, getting things ready to adopt the second child, it only came to our news to say, you know what? You are pregnant for the second time. Little did I know that it's going to be a boy. And all throughout my pregnancy journey, it came to me as an intuition to say, you're going to get a boy and you're going to be blessed abundantly through both your kids. Praise the Lord. Because for me, every step of the way was a challenge. For me, having high aspirations of getting into marketing, for me, getting married and then having kids, again, impossible, but God walked with me all throughout. He walked with me every step of the way. And friends, I only want to tell you one thing. From my impossible journey to it being made so possible, an untrue journey being made so true, fruitful and blissful, it only takes you some moments of prayer. And when you pray, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself more than aspiring to be true to God, because if you're true to yourself, you can be true to God. And He just wants you to come to Him with a heart that is accepting of His grace and continue to persevere in faith. I want to echo Romans chapter 8 verses 31. When God is for you, nothing can be against you. And that is so true in my case, because I very clearly remember before I could get married to my husband, I had a lot of people tell me, oh, you're marrying a pilot? You're so lucky. By means of introduction, my husband is a commercial pilot and he flies with Indigo Airlines. And that statement didn't go down too well with me, because I knew how academically sound and my future aspirations. But when I told this to my husband, he said one thing which is so noteworthy. He said, people tell you that you're lucky to marry me, but I want to tell you how lucky, not only lucky, how blessed I am to have you in my life, because of you, we are chosen as a family. And it just brings me more and more delight and bliss to be in your presence every single day. That itself was assurance to me to say that I am indeed chosen and my family is indeed chosen, because had it not to be for the Lord's intervention in our life and had it not to be for His hand upon us, we wouldn't have been where we are today. I also want to talk to all of you about how inspirational the Lord has been time and time again in my life. He knew I had aspirations to move into marketing. I had almost given up because I was always on the admin forefront. But after 3 years of a sabbatical break, I was expecting a pay cut. I got a tremendous increase in salary, but again, it was an administrative job. Being on contract for 6 years in the company where I work in today, not only did I secure a job that gets me on roll, but it also gives me the liberty to still be around my kids, because now I've moved into a global role. It's a remote working job based out of India, and it's just given me everything I want to, or everything I ever aspired to. My only request, my humble request to all those people listening to me is, I reiterate to say, I was a complete hopeless case. Please don't give up. Don't give up on your faith in God. Because don't ever think He is sitting up there and not listening to you. He's listening to every single word you're telling Him. But He just wants you to keep coming back. And He wants you to keep giving thanks for the goodness He has shown each one of you. It is as simple as giving a chocolate to your kid and you telling him or her, why are you not saying thank you to me? If you as a parent, if you as a mother or a father accept a thanks from your kids, imagine how grateful your Father in heaven will be if you were to give Him thanks. So continue the faith, continue the prayer, and continue the perseverance. God is listening. On this note, I would like to introduce my husband, Jude Serpes, who will like to highlight more about our journey to all of you and probably pick up on the parts that I have maybe missed out or left to talk to you about.
Praise the Lord. I think my wife Cassie has given you a gist of our journey, of our blessings and our graces that we have received from the Lord. I would just like to add a few things. I always tell her, and I hopefully will tell my children when they grow up, patience, prayer and perseverance are three things that you need in life. You cannot let go, especially of the big P, that is prayer. Every day, every hour, every minute, just keep thanking Him. Let the rest take its course. In my journey, I would just like to add, it's been 3 times since I've been to this Divine Retreat Center. And the last time that I came here, as Cassie shared with you guys, was when she had her menses. And it was quite disappointing for me. At that time, I had told Jesus I would come here to give testimony only after I have my 2 kids. And today, I can proudly say that I am here with my 2 kids, Kelsey and Caleb. Today, I would like to present to you our blessings, that is Caleb and Kelsey, who is with us in our midst.
Praise the Lord, brothers and sisters. I would finally like to tell all of you that no matter what you're going through in life, be rest assured that God will always see you through. And my closing note is the Bible verse that I took when I was narrating my story, which is Romans 8 verses 31. If God is for you, nobody can be against you. God bless.